All right, this is for Daniel Humphrey from Facebook. Level up. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to have to agree with Hugh Pinder on his brightening up the light. Um, I would. There's a couple things that I would do first. First things first is I think you have an okay idea. I'd watch the perspective in the background. Some of it looks a little bit off. But other than that, what I would say is um, get the brighter light going on. So let's work with that first. So pick your bright light here. And not quite that bright. And let's do a something like that. And then what I would do is mask that off with a brush and really pull out some of those shadows. And that's really going to, I think, sell your idea a little bit more, especially that's going to really pop that idea. And then you want to decide if you want the moonlight to be more interesting. I don't necessarily think it needs to be. I think if you've got that bright light in there, you're already getting kind of that aspect going on. What I would do, probably a little bit differently than Hugh would, is I would actually go in and darken some of this up a little bit more. So let's deselect. Let's just do this one. Let's pick one of your dark colors here, and let's grab this and let's multiply and see by popping that out, the bright light versus contrasts nicely with the other. And then you could probably even kind of break out a little bit of that. And yeah, something like that maybe. Just cancel that. But so putting that in there really pops out the background. Then I am torn. First thing I have to say is that this wall here is creating a horrible tangent with your blade. And so what I would do is grab some of this and actually move it over here like this. Oops. And grabbing that and these, oops, let's do this so it makes more sense here. But by grabbing this and separating this a little bit more, you create a better silhouette. like that. And I think that's a little bit better. That way you're not so like hiding blade in blade. And then you might want to angle some of this stuff a little bit. Is everything's kind of straight on. So by angling it, I would maybe put this blade over here. And angling it over here like this. Actually, before we do that, let's escape. Let's do this. Let's grab the whole hand. And let's put this in there. And that gives you kind of an option to highlight like this, to pop out that dagger a little bit more. And what I would do is I would keep this black here, maybe even put a little bit of a sheen of light in this here, like it's going forward, and that'll accent that shape as well. You might even want to add a little bit of your reds to your leather here, especially where they're shine. And then your lighting is not, this orange light is not going to be just flat. You want to put it where it'll be according to your like specularities. So on this, on your cloth, it'd be a little bit brighter, but it wouldn't be as much. So, but on your leathers, that's when that light is really going to sell itself. Especially like these metal glints, here, just popping that with that bright highlight, will pop out. And I know this is way too bright, but you get the point. And then with that accent in there, that will kind of push your forward backward. And then what I would maybe do is, if you really want to push, and I'm just going to do this really quickly here, just kind of so this doesn't run into too long here. So what you can do, and we'll just we could put that mask on there. Oops. And that's going to silhouette this. And then cities at night, especially old cities like this, these lights, what tends to happen is it tends to, how do I want to explain it? You tend to get this radial glow. So what you want to do, and this is better off with something like this, is you want to, oops, actually this is the slow way to do it, but you want to add some of this bright yellow like this, and probably real faint, not a high opacity, but you want to add this vertical oops forward, okay, so you want to add these vertical gradients, and that'll really push that light and dark of the city. You know, it's very subtle. It doesn't take much, but it just gives you that look that the city is being lived in, because the city lights will radiate and bounce and create a glow like that. So especially, you know, and a real contrast between light and dark in that area. I would possibly even consider doing a I'm just going to really quickly rough this out here. But I would possibly consider using my levels on here, and so and you might want to do it on the whole thing, but using my levels on there and then adding that real bright gradient glow in places, especially on kind of a screen, is going to really pop that area out a little bit and give it a little bit more complexity. So those are the things that I would kind of work on overall, and I think that would make it a better composition and a little bit better lighted work. All right.